Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back, my friends. New week. How we doing? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Morning, guys. Welcome back. New week, new opportunity. December. Go Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going up? Whoa. Holy shit. It's up 4.5% today. Huh. Damn. Nice. Yeah, she's coming back. What's coin doing? Yep. Holy hell. Yeah, might need to look at coin today, huh? Yeah, I don't really watch the old Bitcoin, but yeah, making some moves. Coinbase making some moves. MSTR, yeah, big gap up. Huh. All right. Interesting. How's everyone doing? Hopefully good. Hopefully a good morning. Hopefully a good weekend, guys. Hopefully had a little bit of fun. Enjoyed it. Rest, relaxation. How was my weekend? Thank you for asking, Mario. It was good. I had a friend come into town. We went to some dinner, hung out. It was a good weekend. Good time. Had a few too many dirty martinis one night. But it was a good time. Good time, good fun. Hope you guys had a good weekend as well. All right. Well, once again, welcome back, guys. We'll get started here. Hopefully you had a good weekend. As I was saying, back at it, refreshed, ready to go. Nasdaq, same channel, ES 4600 supply. So a lot of the same so far this morning, guys. Not much different that I'm going to share today. Same Nasdaq level, same ES levels, same sort of movement within the channel. You know, just really trusting those levels. Happy birthday, Mark. Happy birthday, Mark. So let's review it again, right? Let's reassess the levels. Let's see if anything has changed. But pretty much a lot of the same here on the Nasdaq ES. Some individual stocks making some very interesting moves today. We got Tesla 240. We got Microsoft on a retest. So definitely some interesting trades that I'm watching for sure. But we got to be careful of more of the same on the Nasdaq. So here's the schedule. I know we love the schedule. Economic earnings calendar. Do we have any earnings? I didn't even check. Let me see if we got any earnings this week. Nothing. Oh, Lululemon. We go ahead and pull up that earnings calendar real quick. Get that out of the way. So here's the earnings calendar. You guys can see right here. Oh boy. We don't want it like that. All right, so you can see right here. I'm trying to make this fit on this screen. There we go. Today, nothing really. Tomorrow morning, Neo, AutoZone, nothing that I'm interested in. MongoDB, Toll Brothers. Tomorrow after hours, Stitch Fix. What the hell is this? Ollie's, Lovesack. All small names, it looks like. C3.ai, GameStop, Chewy, nothing I'm interested in. Dollar General, Broadcom, Lululemon, DocuSign, Restoration Hardware, Vail Resorts. So nothing major, nothing big, big tech. But if you guys are interested in these, just be aware of it. Lulu, probably an interesting one. DocuSign, Restoration Hardware. Really, this Thursday looks to be the biggest one, but I'm not interested. I don't trade earnings, but I just keep you up to date. So, Restoration Hardware, man. What a store. I went to Aventura Mall this weekend, and Restoration Hardware, I love that store. That store has some beautiful, beautiful furniture. All right. So here's your economic calendar this week, guys. Let's go ahead and do that. Economic calendar. Today, factory orders, nothing major. Tomorrow, you got ISM Services PMI. You got the JOLTS job openings at 10 a.m. tomorrow. That could be a little bit interesting. So we'll watch that. JOLTS 10 a.m. tomorrow. Wednesday, non-farm, ADP non-farm employment change, 8:15 Wednesday. So a little bit of pre-market action there on Wednesday. Unemployment on 8:30 Thursday. And then Friday, average hourly earnings, non-farm again, non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, and then consumer sentiment. So it looks like Friday is really the big event. Besides that, guys, really not that heavy on the economic calendar this week. Non-farm, JOLTS, unemployment, that's normal every Thursday pretty much. And then Friday looks to be a little bit heavier. But nothing, no FOMCs, no Jerome Powell speaking, nothing like that. So not too heavy this week. All right? Not too heavy this week. I would say our first thing to be paying attention to is that JOLTS tomorrow at 10 a.m. The next thing that I want to pull up is the bond auctions. Let me pull that up. Because we do have some approaching. Let me go ahead and get that PDF file up. If I can find it. There it is. All right. Here's our PDF file of bond auctions. the next major one is December 11th. So next Monday. Let me go ahead and pull that up right here. Let me zoom in for us. Next Monday looks to be where we have our next big bond auction. That is right here. That's the 3-year, the 10-year, and the 30-year. That is December 11th, 3 and 10, and then December 12th, Tuesday, next Tuesday, 30-year. These are probably your next big, those are your next big bond auctions to be paying attention to. Nothing too much today. You got the 13-week, 26-week. I don't think that does anything. December 4th, that's today, so you could be careful of that at 1 o'clock. But really, it's this right here, 3-year, 10-year, and 30-year, next Monday and Tuesday. All right? So that's that. All right, let's go over some futures. Let's go over some stocks. So Tesla 240, big level today. Big retest level that I'm watching. Big rejection level that I'm watching. Nvidia 460. Nvidia is showing some weakness. A little bit of underperformance on Nvidia. And moving down into that 460, which is a very important level here. So going to be watching this closely today. AMD 121.50. We've been trading AMD off that level for weeks. It's there again. So let's watch AMD 121.50. Google 100 SMA. The Google is trading back higher into its 100 SMA. This should be on watch today. Meta 320 demand. Microsoft 375 retest. And I think you're finally getting that Roku retest. I would be watching that this week. All right, so those are that's the schedule there. Let's jump right into it. So here's the Nasdaq, and let's get a little bit more time here, and we can see exactly what's sort of going on. So the Nasdaq, obviously, on Thursday of last week, we got that big 16.1 supply rejection. We moved down into that demand, right? That 15,850 demand. We've talked about this demand multiple times. You can see it back here. We moved back into it, held. We pushed into 16,000. Now, on Friday, we turned 16,000 into a rejection, and we moved back lower into that demand once again. All right, so let me zoom in here on the shorter-term time frame, or a little bit of a shorter-term look. And we can see what sort of happened over the last 3-4 trading days. We can see, first of all, very clear demand at 15,850, right? Congestion pricing? Not that I know of, Chef. We have like express lanes that you have to pay for, but yeah, no, I don't know about congestion pricing. So NASDAQ, right? Very clear here, guys. You see this? This is where we're not shorting into today. That is the exact level that we need to be careful on the short side. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit wider here. There we go. All right. So we can very clearly see that double bottom low from Friday and Thursday of last week. So if the NASDAQ is trading lower into that area, this is what we need to be cautious of, right? We need to be cautious of that demand below. That's 15,850. That is as clear as it can get. That is as clear as it gets. So we are not going to be opening new shorts into that 15,850. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we can still see 16,000 acting as a supply, right? Because we can see we've had this major 16,000 level that we are now rejecting once again here in the pre-market, right? You see this rejection, and this rejection, 16,000. On Friday, we tried to hold back above it, right? You can see right here, the market attempted, you can see right here, right? We got back above 16K. We tried to hold above it here on Friday. You can see right there, a little bit of an attempt higher and a hold of 16,000. However, you can see we've dropped back below. We turned it back into a rejection here, and now we are trading back below it. So what's the short-term levels that you are watching today? It's the same thing. It's pretty, right? It's pretty textbook sort of. Once again, it's these levels that have not changed on our charts. It's 16,000 supply and 15,850 demand, right? That's your range once again. 16,000 supply, 15,850 demand. That is your very clear, right? Very clear channel today. Now, if you get back above 16,000, right, and you hold it, then you look for that push once again towards 16.1, right? That's very clear as well. if you can get back above that 16,000 and you can hold above it, then maybe there's an opportunity of some more upside off that hold. But that's going to be something you really got to wait and watch to see if it happens, right? You don't want to front run that idea long the Nasdaq here and hope that it breaks and holds. That's not a trade, right? You long the Nasdaq here, you're at risk of this. And so if you want to long today, I really think the only spot to be long is on a very solid hold of 16,000, right? Or you look to see if there's longs off the 15,850 demand again, right? So for me, the only two long spots today are either here at 850 for potential triple bottom low or a move above 16,000, right? But that's aggressive because then you have to watch out for this 16,040. You got to watch out for 16,001, right? There are some reasons to be careful on a long above 16,000, but that could be something that sets up. So that's that. Now, on the short side, and what I truly believe today is that as long as the Nasdaq is under 16,000, I'm going to expect there to be more weakness here, right? As long as that Nasdaq is under 16,000, I'm going to expect there to be weakness up in this area. So I will absolutely be looking for some 16,000 supply rejections intraday today. Absolutely. If I see the Nasdaq trade into that 16K, if I start to see that weakness there, then I will be watching for that rejection and potential downside. Now, if I zoom out here and get you a larger picture, where the fun really starts, and this is what I talked to the group about today, where the downside really starts, where it actually gives up, right, where this market could actually sort of free fall a little bit, is under 15,800, right? Anything really above this 15,800 and this 20 SMA right here is technically, right, pullback, and as you can see for the last few weeks, pullback and bounces and just sort of staying in the channel. If you want an actual continuation move on this market to the downside, then you need to be under 15.8, right? 15.8, you can see that demand low there, and you can see that 20 SMA there, right? You need to be under that 15.8 for this to really start to slip, right? Because under 15.8, right, this is what you have. You have that. And that's not going to hold the Nasdaq up. So if you want to get downside continuation, if you want to have confirmation of, okay, Nasdaq's actually going to have a little bit more downside here and actually pull back for me, if that's what you're sort of looking for, then I think you need to still be very patient and wait for that 15.8 level, because that's the 20 SMA, right? And that's the extreme low of this channel that we've been trading in for just about 3 weeks now, right? So 15.8, 15.820, 15.820, 20 SMA, right? That's really that big level below, all right? So keep an eye on that, guys. Remember the larger term picture. What is the market doing overall? It's channel trading. You need to be cautious in channels. You need to really respect levels, take profits, right? If you get the 16K supply, profit taking into the drop. If you get a 15,850 demand hold, profit taking into the pop, right? We are not trading for large moves here. You just can't, right? You can't. Look at what the market's done. You can't trade for large moves when the market is channeling like this. So 16,000, 15,850, 15.8 major level below, and then that 16.1 supply above. All right, let's continue. QQQ. So the big level below, like that 15.8 level that I was talking about on the QQQ, is 384, right? That's that big level below. That's where the fun can begin, right? Where the downside fun can begin is if you get under this 484, right? 384. 384 lows, right? 20 SMA sort of near there as well. I'm sure it'll be there by the time the Nasdaq gets down there. It's possible that the 20 SMA is sort of pushing higher into that 384. So watch that 384 on the QQQ, right? If we get downside. Now, we got to go a little bit shorter term here and get an idea of what the QQQ has been doing. So really, right, the real major levels, if I am to delete this, right, the real major levels here is 391 or are 391 and 386, right? Those are the big channel levels, right? That's the major supply high and the major demand low for now. There are some intermediary levels that I am monitoring here just to get a little bit of a shorter term idea on the QQQ. The first one is this 389, right? This 389 we can see was a rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, and it was a potential hold, right? It tried to hold there on Friday. This sort of equals that 16,000 on the Nasdaq futures. So I think you keep around 389, even up to 389.50. I would actually just leave it at 389.50 to be safe, right? Because you can see also this low right here, right? 389.50. So that's sort of that intermediary supply that I would be watching. That's sort of your 16,000 on Nasdaq futures. To the downside, I would be watching this 387.50. And the reason I say that is because if we go to this hourly chart, right, we can see 387.50 right here. 387.50, 387.50, 387.50, right? And you have some demand at that level. However, the big levels, right, if you ignore 389.50 and 387.50, which is about a 2-point range on the QQQ, right, the big levels are here and here, right, for now. 386, 391, all right? Hopefully that makes some sense to you. ES, so 4,600, you guys see the title of today's live stream. That 4,600 level is still causing some problems, right? We can still see that 4,600 level is still acting as a pretty heavy supply up there. This is your sort of trend over the last few weeks. You can see we are still in this uptrend. We are still holding. So that's very important to pay attention to. I think the key level that I would be watching today is 45.75 on the ES futures, right? You can see right here. 45.75 high, 45.75 highs, 45.75 high, 45.75, 45.75, and 45.75. All right, we can see those major previous highs on the ES. You can see on Friday, we sort of squeezed above it up into that 4,600. Now we're sort of slowly pulling back. So if the ES sort of slowly pulls back here into this 45.75, right, is this where the ES does a little break and retest, demand hold at previous highs, and then continues higher? That would be something I would very closely watch. Now, if the ES is to hold here, right, here's the problem. This is what sort of gets a lot of people, right? This is what gets people. This is what slips traders up here. If you do catch a really nice long off 45.75 today, that does not mean that you are holding longs into 4,600, right? That does not mean that you are blindly holding longs for new all-time highs, right? I'm going to the moon, right? Because it could just do this, right? The ES could just do that. There's nothing stopping the ES from maybe, okay, yeah, we got the 45.75 supply, sure, or demand, sure, right? Nice little hold, nice little demand hold, nice potential long opportunity. That does not mean that you are going to break 4,600 on the way higher. That's not what that means, right? So if you do long here at 75, you better be a profit taker in the 46 again, right? If you do take longs at 75, do not hold into 46 and say, I don't care, we're going higher, I'm always right, right? And to the moon we go, right? So you still need to trust the levels, respond to the levels, react to the levels. Sure, you know, this might be a nice retest long. That does not mean you hold into 4,600. That's a profit taking into 4,600 supply. That's big time up here, right? That's big time. So that's a little 25-point range there that you could look to trade in, but you better respect the levels on the charts. So 45.75, 4,600, that's really the two levels that I would be watching today, right? And if we get under 45.75, then we trade back within this sort of shit show, to be honest, guys. I mean, you could find some, you know, short-term levels in here, but quite honestly, it's a shit show. So, you know, I could mark out the 45.60. I can mark out the 45.65, right? I can mark out every 5 points in this little ES channel here. I can mark out. Really, for me, it's between 75 and 50, right? It's about a 25-point shit show range that I would be careful trading in. But, right, of course, you could watch the 45.75 fail, right? Rejection back under, and then, maybe we trade back into the 50, right? Maybe we trade back into that major demand low at the 45.50. So I would really be watching more than anything the 45.75 today and the 4600. All right, those are my two ES levels that I'd be very much focused on, and that goes for the same here on the SPY. All right, you can see right here, SPY 458.50, right, and then 456, right, 456, 456, 456, right, very clear demand down there at 456, and then 458.50 supply. All right. All right. Yeah, we'll go over the Russell real quick because I know some people have been asking for the Russell, and it has been moving, so we'll take a look at that Russell. Please, no more Zoom. Greg, if I could control it, man, I wouldn't be on Zoom, okay? Just to let you guys know, if you're here again this morning, Discord, voice chat, a little bit of problems once in a while. Not very often, like maybe a few times a year, you get a little bit of Discord voice problems. And so, unfortunately, we've had to use Zoom in the community. But it's almost as if people think that I can control that. All right, Russell. Yeah, Russell making a little move here, huh? So, yeah, that was a nice little inverse head and shoulder there. Okay, it looks like we're above. Let me zoom out a little bit here because it looks like we got to get a little bit more time. Yeah, we are above that supply right there. Hold on a second. Where are we at? And we're above that 18. Okay, that's big. Let me mark that out real quick. 1860. That's a big level there. All right. So, yeah. So, here on the Russell, right? You guys can see right here. Previous high, previous high, previous high, previous high, previous low, previous low, previous low, previous high, right? And so 1860 on the IWM looks to be, and then look at this, right? Look at this. Look at this here. What's happening at that exact level? 1860, right? Very clear. So that's the level to really watch here on the IWM. If the IWM is above 1860, it looks like you can get a run towards this 18. Yeah, I would call it like 1900 there, right? If I zoom in over here, let me delete these. Damn, these SMAs are really messy. So if you can hold that 1860, it looks like you can run towards that 1890, 1900 area right here. These highs, right? 1890, 1900, 1900, right? 1890 here. So that 1890, 1900 level, right, would be your next supply above. That would be your next supply above right up here. 1890, 1900 on the Russell. That's if you hold that 1860 demand, right? All right. Guys, if you go to the IWM, it's the same exact thing, right? Go to the IWM, do a little bit of work yourself, right? It's the same exact thing, right? It's the same chart, okay? Same chart. So you guys can see right here, right? Look at that, 188 supply, same thing, 188 supply above. That's on the IWM. All right, we got to continue. All right, Tesla. Here we go. Tesla, right? Look at what Tesla's doing. 240, all right? You see that? 240. Before we get into Tesla, I'm going to need, okay, here we go. Before we get into Tesla, we have 1,700 people here and we have 500 likes. That is abysmal. That is abysmal. We have 1,700 people here getting information for free on a daily basis, and we only have less than half of them willing to press the free like button. If you guys could, take a second. I'm going to take a break until we get some likes on the live stream. We have 800 likes. On my end, it says 500. So what did I want to look at? I wanted to look at something. There's something I wanted to look at. I can't remember. All right, let's continue. Ad run. All right, so Tesla, you guys can see right here, right? 240 supply, right? 240 supply. Look how clear that is here on Tesla. Look how clear that is on Tesla. So you have previous. I'm going to go to the 30-minute. You have previous lows all right here. This was a major previous low on Tesla. If you guys remember that Tesla long I took last week, that was right here on Tuesday of last week. We took a long on Tesla because it broke above 240, right? It broke above that 240. You guys might remember that trade, right? You get a break above that 240 and you get that continuation, right? Michael. Michael, I can't be taken advantage of, Michael. That's something that is very, very important in what I do, right? I cannot let people continue. I cannot allow myself to do this for $0 and zero give and take from the community that watches, right? It has to be a balance, right? So I have to sometimes, push you, little smack in the ass to just press the like button, right? That is very important in what I do, right? Because if I don't, it will become a free and no give back type of thing that I do. I need to make sure I continue to be that way at times, right? So hopefully that makes sense to some of you, right? It's just part of what I have to do. All right, that's just business 101. So Tesla 240, right? You guys can see right here, previous lows right there at 240, right? And you can see right here, look at what Tesla is doing at 240 today, right? That is very, very clear, right? It's very, very clear. Break, rejection, 240 supply. Look at how clear that is. So what am I watching on Tesla today? I am going to be monitoring what happens at Tesla 240, right? If we get a pop into that 240, right? Let's look to see if that supply, right? If that supply rejects, right? If we get a pop into that 240, let's look to see if that turns into a rejection. Now, do we get that pop back into 240? Maybe, maybe not, right? Maybe we don't even get that pop. But if we do, that is the level that I would be watching for that rejection today. I would love to look for that 240 play. Now, the problem here on Tesla is that as it trades in the middle of this channel, the trading opportunities get less and less, right? And less interesting because your edge disappears, right? Your edge starts to disappear if it's not here or here, right? You start to get danger within this area, right? I don't like trading, and I'm not using the fibs as an example. I'm just using the fibs to share with you sort of what this looks like between this channel, right? I don't like trading when you get a move, but I'll try to get back to you, man. I don't know exactly who you are. If you signed up, then you got an email from LaunchPass with an invite. If I didn't get back to you, I will refund your payment. I will prorate every day that you... Guys, if you sign up and you don't get in your first day, all right, and I don't get back to you, just know that your money's not going away. I will prorate every dollar that I was late to getting you in, or every dollar that you... Yeah, I am not here to take your money. I'm not here to be, not... I'm very conscious, and I will give back what I need to do, all right? So if I didn't get back to you, if you can't get in, I will do the right thing. All right. So 240 Tesla, right? And what I was saying here, guys, this is not the place to reach out to me for membership questions. Please don't. I will get back to you. 240 supply, right? And this 232 demand. So I would not want to trade Tesla is in the middle of this channel, right? I would not want to trade Tesla in the middle of this channel. I would want to trade Tesla here or here, right? Trade Tesla here or here, right? So that's where I would want to be looking for Tesla today. I'm watching the 240 supply or I'm watching the 232 demand. If it's not there, I would be cautious trading Tesla, right? Because when Tesla starts to do its little dance in the middle of a channel, it can absolutely destroy you. All right, so be careful trading Tesla in the sort of middle of the channel dance. It's not great there, right? So watch that 240 supply and that 232 demand. All right, let's continue. Let's not crowd the chat with membership questions, please. Let's talk about it another time. All right, so Nvidia, right? You guys can see right here, 262 demand, right? 462 demand, 460 demand, right? This 460 to 462 level is major on Nvidia here, right? Major 460, 462 demand, major demand on Nvidia. However, Nvidia looks very weak coming into this zone. And what you can see here on Friday, look at this little retest as we were pushing into supply, right? We were pushing into the supply lows, right? And look at what we did. We did what we talked about. We did the little break and retest rejection, right? And that is just gorgeous stuff there. So Nvidia, as long as Nvidia is under, right? Think about this market structure here, guys. Think about market structure here. As long as Nvidia is below these lows, it's going to stay weak, right? Because Nvidia just cracked below a very major demand low at 475. You can see it's tried to hold up here multiple days and gave up, right? So if Nvidia is under that 475, this is a weak market move right now. This is a weak stock at the moment. If you do get a demand bounce, I would be looking for that supply rejection again at 475. Now, let's zoom out and get a little bit of a larger picture here and show the importance of this 460, 462 demand on Nvidia. Here's why I think this is so important. If we go to the hourly chart, right, you can see right here, we have this 460, 462 demand, 460, 462 demand. If we zoom in a little bit here, we can also see in the short term, let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit here. Hopefully I can get this pictured for you correctly. You can see right here, this is sort of a very important area. This is sort of where Nvidia got the rally going. And it's right here. This is on Tuesday, November 7th of 2023 and Tuesday, November 8th, right? And look at what happened on these 2 days, right? Look, you had this big pop in supply at 460, 462, and the next following day, you turned that supply into that demand there, and that is really what kicked off the upside, right, on Nvidia. That area right here, where we just saw November 11th, November 8th, is really what kicked off the upside, all right? So if you fall back under that area, which it looks like you are, you're getting pretty damn weak into it today, right? If you get back under that 460, I think Nvidia has more downside, right? So 460, 462, watch this 2-point range today. If Nvidia starts to show a little bit of rejection here, right, there could be some more to the downside. So that's a big area to be watching. Now, does that mean we are going to break it today? No. Does that mean that Nvidia could play some games here and pop back to the upside and sort of rail some people that are way too aggressive short? Absolutely, that could happen. So I would be a little bit cautious getting too aggressive short before 460 breaks, right? Because this could play some games, right? There could be some demand games being played here, and you want to be cautious of that. So 460 really is that major level in my eyes. AMD, one of the cleanest trading stocks in the last few weeks, right? This thing is just respecting levels beautifully, right? Look at this AMD. You can see AMD here. Big drop, right? We broke that 121.50. We came back up into it, right? Look at this, 121.50 break, retest, rejection. That was a beauty on Friday, right? That was the first thing. Now, we moved lower. What did we move lower into? Mario, thank you, man. Freeloaders, give some likes, a little something for all you do. Here, take my money. Mario with the $20 donation. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you for all the support. And thank you for the 9 months. Thank you for the 9 months. Thanks, Mario. So, AMD, right? You can see right here, that 121.50, right? And you can see that rejection. Where did we move into? The 119.20 SMA demand and got a big pop to the upside. Where did the big pop to the upside take us? Right back into the 121.50 supply, right? Look how clear that is. So, what am I watching today? Pretty damn easy, guys. If you pop into 121.50 supply, watching for rejections. If we trade into that 119, right, and I don't have I'm not short yet, then I'm watching that 119 demand, that 20 SMA demand. It's the same exact channel from Friday, right? And then if you start to break channels, right, that's when things get even more interesting. So if you break 121.50 and you hold above, right, you're longing for 123s. If you break under the 119, under the 20 SMA, you're shorting for more downside, maybe towards that 118. So very clear here. I love the way AMD is respecting this stair-stepping formation, right? Previous lows into new highs. That is really, really nice. All right. Google. Let's continue. Google. So, holy hell, Google's really dropping. Google was just a awesome rejection on, well, that was on Thursday, but yeah, that 137 rejection on Thursday was a thing of beauty. Friday, a little bit more continuation, and you guys can see right now, I know you can't see that actually, you are coming down on Google under this 132 supply. Now, why is this 132 so important? Let me go ahead and zoom in or zoom out here for you. This 132 level on Google is not only, right, it's not only a previous demand, right here, previous demand right here, right? It's not only a previous demand right there, right? That is also, you can see the thick boy there, that is also the 100 SMA at 133. 133 demand, 133 supply, right here, demand here, demand here, demand right here, 133, even in the short term, right? And Google has just broken below the 100 SMA, right? You can see it right here, this green line. It tried to hold here on Thursday, attempted a little bit of a hold on Friday, right? But it is now firmly below that 100. So I would believe that Google under that 100 could get a little bit weak, right? And the next demand that I'm watching here on Google is right here, 131, right? That's really your next demand on Google, down at 131. So what would I want today? I would want this, right? Am I going to get this? I don't know, but this is what I would want. I would want a pop, a fake pop on Google, back into the 100 SMA, back into the 133 supply, and then let me see if I can continue to fade this to the downside. So ideal short entry today on Google is not at 131 demand. It is back above at 133 supply, right? Michael, $20 donation. Thanks for keeping us on a straight and narrow. I appreciate that, Michael. Michael's a good guy, man. Michael likes to give shit. He's like me. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that, brother. 133, right? You guys can see right here, 133, 100 SMA, right? That is as clear as it's going to get. So that is really the short entry I'd want. I do not want to short at demand lows. I'm not chasing Google downside today. Oh my God, Google's going down. I have to short Google, right? Google's so weak, right? No, I'm not going to short Google into 131 demand. That's the previous major low here. That is not a short entry right here. So I want that I want that pop in the 133, 100 SMA supply, and then I'm looking to fade that, right? Or I would consider, if Google's like really dead today, I would consider the break and retest under 131, right? All right, let's continue. Meta, Microsoft, Roku. Meta, Microsoft, Roku. Oh, Meta's getting real weak. Everything's getting real weak out here, huh? All right, so Meta, right? Let's look at what Meta's doing here. Meta, is coming into this 320. I think this 320 is really the level that I'm going to be watching today, right? On Meta, this 320, we don't want to look at it like that. This 320 on Meta, I think, is very important. And this has been a very important level in the past. So 320 here on Meta is a interesting area to watch out for. Possible little demand hold at that 320 today if you get any type of market strength or market bounce. Now, if you do get that, right, I would love to see Meta possibly bounce back into that 328 and supply, right? Maybe, maybe not. Or I would look to see if Meta can turn that 320 into rejections today for a move back into this demand right here, right? The demand lows are around 315, all this 315 right here, right? If you can get that 320 break and hold below, then I think you could look for that trade towards 315 on Meta. I just don't like shorting as we move lower, right? That's the thing for me. When you get a move, like when you're moving lower in the market, I love the bounce and fade, right? That is really, I hope you guys understand that concept, right? Because I would almost only trade bounce it. If you think the market, right, this is how I think, and I think this is a very good way to think. If the market is showing you weakness, right, and you know, hey, this is a weak market right now, I'm seeing some weakness, I want to look for the downside because I think we move lower. If that is what you're looking for, I would want to short on bounces and fades primarily, right? Because that is where you get your major opportunities. Every bounce and fade is where those entries really, really light up, right? And so, for example, just on Meta on Thursday of last week, right, you had this bounce, right here, bounce into the supply and fade, right? And so a short entry after the bounce of the retest level is such a better entry than trying to chase downside, right? So if you see, right, if I'm looking at Meta here and it's just red candle after red candle, right, I'm going to require a bounce at this point to get a short entry, right? I'm not going to just short into this 320 demand. I'm not going to just short into the lows. I just don't think that's going to be a profitable way to trade for you long term, right? A profitable way to trade for you long term. So I would want, that little bounce. Let's look maybe for this 325 level here. Actually, let me go to the 15-minute. All right, you can, if we break this down to the 15-minute, you start to get a little bit of clarity here. So I would actually be looking for like maybe this 325 area today, right? You can see right there. Little 325 level on Meta. Let's make that red, right? And so if I see a little Meta bounce here, maybe back into this 325, right? Back into where we rejected here, back into where we rejected here, back into where we rejected here, right? Then I'm interested in that short entry, all right? Then I'm interested in that short entry. Not so much down here at the 320 demand, all right? So 320 demand, 325 supply on Meta today. 50 SMA at 318. I'd watch that as well. All right, let's continue. Microsoft Roku. So Microsoft coming down into a big level here. So Microsoft, first of all, on the 4-hour has broken this uptrend, right? You can see that 4-hour trend broken. So that's number one. Very clear there. Let's go to the hourly chart. So hourly chart, right? We can see we had some previous demand around this 370, 371 here, right? Right there. 370, 371. That is also the 20 SMA today. So, do you have to be careful of Microsoft at 370, 371 today? Absolutely, right? That is a possible bounce level to be paying attention to. That is previous demand here, and a 20 SMA. That is also Friday's lows. So that's number one. Now, what happened on Microsoft that is just sexy as can be, right? Look at what happened on Microsoft here. Everyone can see it, and this goes back to my bounce and fade ideas, right? What happened on Microsoft? Hey, if you shorted Microsoft at low a day on Friday, you got screwed, right? That's not what you do. You don't trade into low a day. You don't trade into the 20. You don't trade into demand on shorts. What do you look for? You look for a bounce, right? Bounce. Where did the bounce take Microsoft? Back into the retest. Back into the retest. Back into the retest. Bam. Right? Look at how beautiful that is. And so the difference in maybe 90% of traders, right? Actually, let me bring that down a little bit. Maybe like the difference for maybe 60, 70% of you out there is this right here, right? This right here, and the patience required to let this work out is going to be the difference between failure and success, I would say, for about 70% of people, right? Because 70%, maybe 80% of traders cannot wait for that bounce. They just can't do it. They can't wait, right? They cannot control themselves. They have to short Microsoft at the lows, right? They have to short Microsoft as it's going straight down, right? But what was the clean trade? What was the structured trade? What was the trade that had an idea behind it, right? It was the break and retest of the previous lows, taking shorts at that previous low supply, right? And structuring that trade to the downside. Guys, if you've been watching my live stream for anything more than a few weeks, you see me talk about this. It is unbelievable how many times this sets up in the market. And it's like this. I could come into every single trading day for the next. I have been coming into every single trading day for the last 4 or 5 years. And I have found the break and retest, right? And look how clean that is, right? Just look at how clean that is. That is a previous low right here, and right here. That did a perfect break and retest rejection. And that happened so much. And if you could just look for that, if you could ignore everything else, right, and just look for that, I think you will find maybe not, full-on profitability, because there's obviously other things out there that will affect your trading. But I think you will have a better understanding of the market. So that's my honest opinion. 375, 370, 371, 20 SMA. Watch out for it. Here we go. Let's continue. Roku, right? Roku. Last one I got for you today. What's the real Roku trade that we were talking about a few weeks ago, right? It's the retest of this 4-hour high. It's that retest of that 96.98. What did we talk about on Roku? We said, you will get the retest. It will happen, right? This does not just go straight up. You will get the retest of the breakout point. It will happen, right? When, I don't know, but it will happen, right? Roku will absolutely retest this high and this high. When is it going to happen? It could be today, but it's going to happen, right? It does not just break out. Very rarely do you just break out and just never come back to that retest. So you can see even here, right? Breakout, came back to the retest, right? You can see it right there. So let's look to see if Roku comes back and retest that 98 for a long, right? I'm still waiting on it. So I think it will happen, but we need to be a little patient. Now, in the short term, here's the 15-minute, right? And so I'm watching this, first of all, I think it's around like this 102. It's like 102-ish, 102.50. It's not perfect. I'm going to call it like 102 right there, right? And 102 and then 101. 102, 101, some interesting demand levels there. But I believe that if Roku drops 101, right there, if Roku drops that 101, that's when you're going to get the retest, right? That's when you're going to get the retest. All right? All right, guys. Nasdaq, clean as can be, right? Really doesn't get much cleaner than that. 16,000 supply. Look at how clean that rejected again today. Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem for a lot of traders out there. Nasdaq's moving down today, right? They start to get horny, right? Horny bears. And they start shorting into demand lows, right? That's going to be the problem for a lot of people today. So just because you're getting downside in the pre-market does not mean that you're entering short positions at the demand lows at Thursday, Friday, double bottom lows, right? This is not a short entry, okay? This is a short entry. And so if you didn't catch it this morning, right, if you're trading some futures, maybe you caught that, well done. If not, right, you got to be careful as you approach that demand low, right? 15,850, all right? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I hope you have a fantastic trading day. It's a Monday morning. Make it a good day, right? Focus in. Get ready, right? Prepare Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Continue to help me grow. I got an idea from someone about helping to grow the channel, maybe doing some giveaways on the live streams for some of you guys that are here. So I think I'm going to start doing that maybe starting next year, maybe January. I want to get some ideas flowing, right? Next year, every year you want to one-up what you did the previous year, right? Always build on top of what you've built. So next year, definitely some ideas flowing out there. If you guys have any ideas on how to continue to grow the live stream, grow the channel, feel free to let me know. And if I didn't get back to you guys, if you're waiting for a response from me, guys, trust me, I will get back to you. I'm a one-man show here, man. Just please understand that. I'm the only one that works in my business. It's not, I don't have associates and assistants, and I don't wear a Gucci crossbody with $10,000 cash in it. It's not who I am, okay? I'm a one-man show. So if you're waiting on a response, I will get back to you. If you required a refund and you didn't get it yet, I will refund you, all right? Everything, I'm not responding for a certain reason because I'm trying to keep your $40 monthly payment. I will get back to everyone. Just want to let you guys want to clear that up, all right? Thank you guys again. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.